I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All commissioners are present with Commissioner Marsh online. Then we have next we have the oath of office. We have three commissioners that were newly elected, or re-elected, I should say. That'd be Commissioner Marsh, Commissioner Messer, and myself. So we'll do the oath of office with District Judge Haroff.
Thank you. All right, if I could have Neil Messer, Mr. Franchuk, and also Mr. Marsh, if you can all stand and raise your right hand. I state your name,
I, Dean Franchuk,
of Stark County, North Dakota,
Stark County, North Dakota,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Stark County Commissioner
the duties of Stark County Commissioner
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, gentlemen, you're sworn in.
Thank you, Judge.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Okay, next we have the agenda. Is there any additions to the agenda?
There is a liquor license,
Liquor license,
two
okay,
liquor licenses.
okay. You have something?
Yeah, we can just have a small conversation at the end of the meeting. We've got a couple of board members that are our Human Services Board expiring January 1, and I think Joetta has already prepared an application process on the website, so if we can just have a small discussion about that at the end of the meeting, that'd be great.
Okay. Anything else?
Mr. Chairman, I would move we approve the agenda as submitted with the two additions.
I'd second.
Okay, I have a motion, a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Those opposed, motion carried. Next, we have the minutes then from our last meeting. It'd be November 7th, 2024. Is there any corrections or to the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I'd move to approve the November 7th meeting minutes.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Next, then we have the accounts payable. Is there any questions of the accounts payable?
I just had one for Al. Was there a radiator leak at Wallworks? Well, there was looked like a coolant issue. Was it Wallworks or Wesley? It was Wesley's. What was that unit?
I can check it out though.
Okay, it was, 10,000.
I saw that too.
Does it have a number right in front, like
It does,
1137 or something? That's the unit number. What is that? What number? is
I'm
that?
looking here.
Okay.
I can get back to it. I was just curious. It just seemed like for a coolant leak, it was.
I think it's more than a coolant leak. Anytime you take a truck in to get fixed, you gotta buy it back, but I can get the invoice pulled out and let you know.
1134.
1134, using coolant repair.
1134 is the unit number.
For 10,456.58.
Could be the ECM or something, well, no, but I can
Okay.
get pulled invoice, so.
Any other questions, accounts payable?
I move to approve, accounts payable.
A motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second. Any other discussion? Not roll call vote, then Commissioner White,
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Commissioner Claris,
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried. Next, Mr. Freilich will do the, or we had 4-H, I should say, 4-H building, RFP, I should say. I saw 4-H there, so I thought it was yours.
Jason Dorman representing the 4-H Council today. As many of you know, we've been working through a livestock show building out at the fairgrounds. And last month, the Fair Board tasked us with getting to a point where it could go out on bids. And I think we have reached that threshold, so I have packets here for you guys I'll hand out.
Thank you.
Can you leave mine to get put into my box in the auditor's office,
I'll do it.
please? Thank you.
Okay.
I guess it's a lot to look through and spring on you all at one time, but it's the building you've seen if you've watched any of Bridget's slide presentations in the past. I guess I don't know if you have any questions or just want to take some time to look it over. We do have the building layout there for you with drawings and the post layout, and then some exterior views, as well as you'll see a specification for the electrical put together for us by Berger Electric. Big shout out to Delvin Clot on that. And then also the last sheet in that's stapled there is just for some of the plumbing and the concrete requirements for the building.
I didn't get the mechanical part. Oh, here it is. Sorry.
Okay.
Are we gonna present this to the park board then, and then bring it back to the county? Would there be a couple some extra copies for the 2 additional park board members?
We're just moving forward with RFP, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it needs to come before the park board at this point, or how we keep, communication going with the park board, even though we're all the park board, there's still 2 other members there.
Yeah, I think we could get them the packet, but I think, the ultimate goal here is to get not only this building, but potentially the exhibit hall building to
Absolutely, I totally agree with you.
yeah, so, okay.
Okay, is there any other questions or?
I guess the only question is, you guys have spent a bunch of time and effort on getting this to the point, so you're comfortable, and this is the project that we should send out for bid, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So the process, if it goes out for bids, if that contractor, or all contractors that are bidding it, can they reach out to you if they have any questions as far as, expectations or what you're looking for, or any
Certainly.
clarifications? Okay.
I think we would take this, process would be to take this information, put it in a biddable packet, right, with specifications, put some timeframes on it, whatever those are. I would think we should be able to get this out in, within 10 days to 2 weeks, and then allow, maybe, I know the minimum would be 3 publications. So I think if we shoot for early, mid-February as far as opening the bids, I think that would be probably realistic and still allow for a start of construction as soon as the weather cooperates.
Sure.
I had a
We got to
question
figure out how to
about
pay for it
cost.
too, by the way.
Yeah. Well, when we find a number out, I guess that's.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question about cost? So, is this going to be enough where when we get bids, that there isn't going to be a lot of change orders to add additional things? Like, is this going to be comprehensive enough to get some strong bids?
We believe so, that we've covered all the bases. I guess we're 4-H moms and dads, not professional construction.
They
But
have
I
a
think we've
complete-
covered it.
They have a complete building plan, as, you know, this is the highlights for our information.
Okay.
Yeah, we have blueprints and the whole thing there.
Oh,
With
okay.
that, yeah. We didn't include all of that. It gets kind of in the weeds, so we kept it to the high points on what I thought you guys would need
So
to
what's the
proceed.
notice process?
Well, I'll have to look back, because sometimes I get the ones for road confused with the regular buildings, but I want to say it's, do we have to, I think we have to advertise it for so many consecutive weeks for the bidding, and then we have to select a date
Can we,
and give them,
Do we need a motion to get going?
can we have a motion?
We
to-
did, just when we did the restrooms, it was 3 separate publications, 1 week apart.
Right, it's quite a
And then there's a
few.
minimum point from the last publication to the opening of bid. And I think if we give us, you know, a week or 10 days to get the full packet complete, you know, the full drawings, and then publish it, and I think if we open early February,
February 4th is the commission meeting.
I-
so you'll get the information
so, yeah.
together for what you want published then?
Well, you formalize it, then they have a.
They kept coming and
They
get
have
the
a central
plans.
point to get the plans. Could
Are they
be-
gonna be coming into the auditor's office to get the plans?
Typically, that would be the source, and then also we send it out to builders exchanges, who would make it available to contractors within their exchange.
Okay.
So do we need a motion then to move forward with this?
I would think so.
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
okay, have a motion by Commissioner Marsh, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second, any other discussion? All in favor, state aye.
Aye. Quick last discussion, should we set a date for opening? February 4th be?
If you want to include that in your motion, sure.
Yeah, I'll
Ernest?
include it. Bernie?
Sure. I'll put February 4th as the opening date.
Okay.
Okay, and we have the, at the February 4th is a bid opening date on then, and all in favor, state aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carried. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Next is the Stark County Spirit of Excellence Award.
Morning, Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Julie Obergewich, and I wanted to let you know about an exciting event that we had happen on November 20th. November 20th is not only World Children's Day. World Children's Day is a day to promote children's rights, awareness, and welfare. In conjunction with that, we had the privilege of honoring someone who works every day with kids who have been sexually abused in our area. It was just the most perfect day to celebrate Skylar Helfrich in the category of stewardship for the Stark County Spirit of Excellence Award. And so the gentleman who nominated Skylar unfortunately was not able to attend the evening of the presentation due to work. However, he is here today, and I thought it would be really nice, because he missed out on the presentation, if he would be so kind as to come forward and read the nomination that he submitted for a gal who he works very, very closely with, and a very deserving recipient of the Stark County Spirit of Excellence Award. So with that, I'd like to call forward Tim Helmer. He is a special agent with the North Dakota Bureau of Criminal Investigation.
Good morning.
Morning.
So yes, I nominated Miss Schuyler several months ago. I worked with her for quite a few years, and the things that she's done, I felt that she was a very deserving person for this award. It's one of those positions that she does within our community that very little people ever know about or even heard of what that program is, except for those that have been directly impacted by their traumatic events. I'll read the nomination that I have. You'll have to forgive me. I wrote it several months ago, but it is with my deepest respect and admiration that I recognize Ms. Skylar Helfrich as a nominee for the Stark County Spirit of Excellence Award. The Dakota Children's Advocacy Center, which is commonly called CAC, plays a vital role in our community by supporting children and families through some of the most challenging circumstances imaginable. The CAC's mission is to promote healing and justice for victims of child abuse. It relies heavily on its dedicated professionals, and among them, Ms. Skylar Helfrich. Skylar shines as a beacon of compassion, professionalism, and excellence. As a forensic interview for the CAC, Skylar carries out the crucial task of conducting developmentally appropriate, legally sound, and culturally sensitive interviews with children, as well as adults with disabilities. For those individuals who have experienced abuse, work is far from simple. It requires a rare combination of technical expertise, emotional intelligence, and unwavering commitment. Skylar's approach embodies these qualities and more. Her interviews create a safe and supportive space for children to feel that they are heard and respected, often for the first time, after enduring an immense amount of trauma. She balances empathy with precision and ensuring that her work is not only therapeutic for the child, but for the foundational to the pursuit of justice. Beyond her role in the interview rooms, Skylar is a true leader in child advocacy. She's deeply involved with our multidisciplinary team and collaborating with law enforcement, social services, and other legal professionals to ensure a comprehensive approach for each case. Her contributions extend to training community members and professionals while sharing her expertise to improve outcomes for victims and their families. Skylar's innovative techniques and evidence-based practices set a high standard for forensic interviewing. By fostering trust and encouraging the disclosures for the both that are accurate and reliable, she has advanced the field and enhanced the effectiveness of the CAC. Moreover, her commitment to professional development inspires her colleagues and strengthens the entire organization. Her impact resonates far beyond the CAC. Families who have interacted with Skylar consistently express their gratitude for her kindness, patience, and her respect during their most valuable moments. Her work not only supports victims in their path of healing, but it also provides law enforcement and child protective services the critical tools needed to deliver justice. Skylar is more than an outstanding forensic interviewer. She's a compassionate advocate, a respected colleague, and a pillar of strength for countless children and their families. Her unwavering integrity and dedication to her work have made her an invaluable asset to the community and is a very deserving nominee for the Stark County Spirit of Excellence Award. It was my honor to recognize and celebrate Ms. Skylar Helfrich, whose extraordinary service reflects on the very essence of the award, a commitment of excellence, justice, and the betterment of our community. With that said, I'd like to see if Skylar would like to say anything for you guys as well.
I'm going to do my best to speak without crying, but everyone that knows me knows that I'm a very emotional person. I want to say thank you. There will never be the adequate amount of words to put how grateful and honored I am to have gotten this award. Tim said it best with a lot of people don't know what a forensic interviewer is or what a child advocacy center is unless you're impacted by abuse. It is rewarding, but it doesn't come without challenges. Like Tim said, I deal with cases of child abuse, neglect, just about any crime involving a child. And I get to sit and I get to talk with these kids and I get to see them at their most vulnerable moment, but also at their strongest moment. And it doesn't come with a lot of, I don't know what word to put, you don't get a lot of recognition for being an interviewer, but these moments right here are what make all the hard days and all the bad cases so immensely worth it. So thank you to everyone who nominated me, and a special thank you to Tim for choosing me out of all the amazing people that we work with. Okay, I'm gonna stop before I cry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Skylar, and thank you, Tim. Skylar was selected among 41 submitted nominations, which is huge. We do hold on to the nominations for a period of 12 months before they drop off, just so we can keep the batch always fresh. Our next award deadline will be March 15th. As I mentioned when I spoke last time to you all, we are only doing 2 awards going forward, March and then in October. Nominations can be submitted at starkcountysheriffnd.com. Again, Skylar was the 16th award recipient, so it is such a privilege and such an honor to bring forward these good individuals from Stark County, to highlight them and to really bring a shining light on them, because they do so much they're a huge part of, what makes our county a great place to live. So as always, thank you so much for the time this morning to allow us to bring these good people forward.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, Ms. Selfridge, for the work you do for the families of Southwest North Dakota. Thank you. And thank you, Julie, for their work you do on this project always too. Okay, next we'll have the sheriff.
Chairman, Commissioners, good morning. Not as tall as Julie, especially with her heels on. November highlights for the Stark County Sheriff's Office. Total calls for service were 1,471. This is up from 1,448 last year. 126 traffic stops. This is down from 177 last year. 315 public relations stops. This is down from 337 last year. 24/7. Again, this month there was 5 24/7 violations. I believe those are all drug related. 3 theft related calls for service. That's down from 11 last year. 25 canine usages, 52 school zone patrols. There's 14 suspicious person or activities calls that we responded to. Responded to 16 accidents. 0 of those were pedestrian. We had 1 fatality out on I-94. That was a 68-year-old gentleman from South Dakota. That's going to be right in that Gladstone area where we always seem to have problems. 0 hit and runs, 1 injury accident, and 14 property accidents. Other than the fatality, really not that bad for our first slippery time of the season. That's the time we always seem to have the most issues, is that first slippery instance where people need to remember how to drive. There was 10 prisoner transports, 7 court transports, 0 medical, 0 juvenile, 0 assists, and 3 mental health transports. Civil Division conducted 209 attempts, 27 subpoenas, 168 civil papers, and 5 criminal papers. There was 94 total arrests for the month of November, and 79 of those arrests were warrants that we served. Excuse me a moment. Quite a few house fires, both in the city of Dickinson and the county this month. Again, that's something we commonly see this time of year when the furnaces start firing back up again. We'll have that October, November fire season, we call it. We had EVOC this past month at the Red Rock parking lot. We had a lot of questions about seeing those. A lot of sheriff's vehicles up there. That's what that is, the emergency vehicle operations course that we do. And we're kind of going to step out of the box a little bit this year and have a complete department training. A lot of our training typically focuses around our licensed deputies. This year, after my one-on-ones with the staff, which entails anywhere from 15 minutes to 2 hours of visiting. It's their time, so they can basically unload on me. And we document everything from those visits, and then we compile it. And this year, I actually sat down with a professional training organization that is kind of new to town. I've talked to some other businesses that have used them and very lauded them, and very impressed with what they do. So we're going to try that. So basically, you create your own training curriculum out of what you have discussed with your employees, some of the issues you're having in your department, and they create something for that. So we're going to have 4 separate groups of people meet, and the idea is putting some of the people together who are having some issues with each other. So be kind of interesting training program. So I'll let you guys know how that turns out. You guys are certainly welcome to attend. I hope HR joins us as well for that. I think she will. I was going to discuss the canine program a little bit with you guys. There's going to be some things going on there, but I need to visit more with my staff before I go announce that to you guys into the public here. I did want to touch on one more thing, and that's jail and prison spaces. I have been including Neil, I think, in some of those emails with Legislator LaFour, but the prison, I think, is sitting at about 115% occupancy right now. When I say 115%, people realize that, that doesn't make sense. Well, 15% of those inmates are coming to Stark County, they're coming to Ward County, they're coming to Grand Forks County, Rugby, things like that, and which is creating a population problem in our jail and those jails as well. And I hope the legislature somehow addresses that this year. You have Fargo right now that has over 7,000 active warrants. So they're not even able to arrest some people on the weekends sometimes, which is creating a significant problem in the Fargo area after visiting with Sheriff Johnner over there. They're adding on to their jail right now. They're adding another pod, so hopefully they find the employees to staff that, and once that is complete, they'll be able to start serving warrants over there. The reason I bring this up is that my fear is that happens here. Obviously, we have a lot of new people in our area, and if our jail is to fill up, it's kind of what's the next step kind of thing. So very concerning. I think that's something we need to look at moving forward, and that'll lead me to the agreement with Stark County that you have next on your agenda. If nobody has any questions for me on my stuff.
Real quick.
Yes, sir.
The training is that you're developing, is that for progression or something that's going to be a annual recertification or?
Well, it's not a recertification or certification for that matter. It will go towards our post hours. We're going to get it approved through the North Dakota Post Board, which is our licensing for law enforcement. But it's more tailored to address our specific problems. So if you have problems with communication or there's a litany of lists I can send to you that we put together. So it's kind of interesting. It addresses, again, not all of, but many of the issues. So if I sat down with 33 people and had one-on-ones, maybe 7 of them said communication, maybe 10 of them said they weren't getting enough recognition or things like that, then this is all things that are going to be addressed in that training.
Okay.
Is this like team building, right?
Well, yeah, so essentially it's addressing the issues that we obviously have in our department through the one-on-one, so. Anything else? Okay, can we move on to the Joint Powers Agreement, Dean?
Yes.
Okay. That's just an agreement with Ward County for detention, basically renewing what we already have and updating it. So we have been sending some folks to Ward County and other jails, Bismarck, Mandan, for methadone. We don't, at this point in time, we don't give methadone at our jail or in our communities. So those that are on methadone, which is a prescription substance, are having to be housed in those other facilities. We also are renewing our juvenile agreement, I believe, with them. So again, that's going to be overflow from the juvenile facility in Bismarck, which is also full on a regular basis.
Do you have other similar agreements or with other counties? Or?
Yes, more often than not, we use Ward County or Bismarck, though. Bismarck, Mandan.
Thank you.
Okay. I look for a motion for the chair to sign this joint powers agreement.
Make a motion for the chair to sign the JPA, but juvenile detention with Ward County agreement.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, do a road department. Road Superintendent Al Heiser.
Well, good morning, everyone. Corey, I did pull up that invoice. It was for EGR cooler. Labor on the truck was $54.47, and the parts were $4,700. So that's what that was about. We had a couple projects we were gonna try and bid late this fall, but I think Jeremy's got the plans done. He might elaborate a little more. 131st is over there by Bellfield, just right on the west side of the gas plant, going 2 miles. last summer, we installed a new box culvert, and so we decided we're gonna connect the two roads together because the ditches are straight up and down and grade that. And then another little stretch over on 48th Street over by South to South Art, there's a real snow problem there. There's no separation in the road, so we're gonna do that, and maybe Jeremy will have an idea on the bid opening. As far as what the road crew's doing, well, on that cold snap, we worked in the shop, winged up all the motor graders for hopefully no snow. But anyway, so we got that done. And then this morning, that's nice, we took the trucks back out of the shop. We're out on the road hauling scoria from up north of Gladstone down south of Richardson. We got a road over there we're gonna do, and then we're gonna move over by Antelope. Off the Antelope, there's a small cemetery up there that if they need to get in there, if it's wet, it's tough, so we're gonna put a little scoria on that, just kind of get them through there. I know Sheriff Lee brought up a fire. We had to take a water truck out to that fire on Saturday to help the rural fire. And I think the house is a total loss, but this time of the year, it's pretty hard to fight fires when it's cold and everything freezes up. But other than that, I have nothing else unless you have anything for me.
You currently have 2 openings.
Yeah, we got 2 openings in the road department, so if you know anybody, equipment, CDL drivers. One guy left and went to work at the airport, so no funding for the airport when they come before us, because they stole one of my good guys. And then one, Bob Schmidt, retired. So, and we're gonna start getting some of them retirements through the road department, because none of us are getting any younger. So, with that,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Al.
Thank you.
Next to do KLJ, Mr. Krebs.
Hi, good morning. Andrew Krebs with KLJ. Just here to give you a brief update on our projects. So our roundabout projects, we finalized the right-of-way plats, and then we're going to be working on the right-of-way acquisition process. So we'll start on our market analysis for some values, and then once we get some documents put together, we'll get them over to Al for review before we approach the landowners. And then we're also working on our environmental document too, which we'll submit a draft on that soon to the DOT. For the chip seal, all work on that project's been completed. The final, it's been turned into the DOT. So we're just waiting for them to review it. Once they complete the review, they issue the final payment, and then that project would be closed out. And then the 38th Street structure replacement. So we sent a construction and engineering agreement, scope and fee to the DOT for review. Kent did add a couple comments, so we resent it, and then so they're supposed to be putting it together, and then once that's put together, I'm sure it'll come to you guys for signatures. We did complete the box culvert inspection at the plant because they're currently building the box culverts, so that's a requirement of the DOT now. And then I did visit with Schwartz, and it's likely this project would be starting in 2025 with the cold snap and how late it's getting. So are there any questions?
Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Let's do Northern Plains, Jeremy Wood.
Good morning. Just a couple real brief updates. The one construction project on 32nd, 107, obviously the paving's done. Seal coat's going to happen next summer sometime, June, July, or August. So not a whole lot to report on that one. We don't have a pay estimate. Everything is paid up to date on that project. Al had mentioned a design project we've been working on, 131st south of Belfield, and I believe it's 48th southwest of Belfield. Each of those are about 2 miles long, so it'd be about 4 miles total. Design is pretty much done. We got to reach out to landowners and get easements and make sure we get the core permit secured, but we're kind of looking at probably a February bid opening date for that project. Kind of depends on easements a little bit, but we don't anticipate many issues with that. So looking at February bid opening with next year's construction timeframe on that project. So that was it for my updates. Pretty brief this morning. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next up, you got Landon Green. Are you available? State your name for the record then.
Good morning, Commissioner. My name is Landon Green. As you all know, I received a letter from Stark County on a decision to remove my fence. I'm here to provide some information and facts that I follow the guidelines to the best of my abilities with minimal guidance from the county staff. I gave you guys a packet. Did you guys have the packet information I sent, or?
Yes.
The pictures?
The pictures, yes. Oh, perfect. Okay. Start with those pictures. A few things I would like to cover on those is when I did a quick little, I think they're called pin guidance or pin locations. I was given coordinates to the pins. So you can see on the picture on the left, the pin coordination that I was given and the location to it on the map. The picture on the right is stakes from a survey that was not conducted by me. On the next one, to put references to those stakes.
I don't have, all 30-something pictures for up on the PowerPoint, but they received them in their email.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'll just do a quick little show of what they are. To put distances and stuff to those stakes that were put on my property, I gave quick little measurements to show references. So when I did my pin survey and got the locations of my pin, I then took that to do my measurements of the 33 feet off of the section lines. Another set was done. This is the slight discrepancy of them. As you can see, we're talking anywhere from 4 to 12 inches is the discrepancy of these pins or the location of the section line. Next one, I have the other side of the fence. The road does curve here, and this is where we went off the center of the road, which I was originally given guidance by Stephen Josephson, who is not here at the moment. His first words over phone call were to go off the center of the road, verify the 33 feet to your fence line, and that is what I did. The 17 or 18, another discrepancy, I'm not sure exactly where the pin was located here, where the guidance, I don't have anything on that. On the right, you can see the stakes going up the south side of the property. When you look at those, the discrepancies from where the pin is, the picture on the left, the pin location, I have exactly 33 feet to the left, 26 feet to the right from that pin location that I was done. There's another set of markers coming just slightly in from that. That is 19 feet. The issue I am having with those 19 is if you take the 33 and 26, obviously we're talking 59. 19 on 59 does not give you the 66 clearance from the center of the section line or center of the pin. Have a slight discrepancy with that one.
Hold on, I'll stop you.
Yes.
Did you actually find the pin?
No, he did a GPS coordinate location to where the pin should be. We then coordinated that with the GIS surveys from the county to verify the GIS surveys from what the county has to his pin location to verify that those looked or matched within reasonable distance. There is no actual pin located in the ground. It is a GPS coordinate.
Or you just didn't find the pin?
Or he did not find the pin.
Okay. Continue.
Absolutely. So with that being said, the next slide hopefully shows the it's a drone photo from just above. You can see on the top of the tall grass where the fence line for the neighbor is, the measurement over to my side where I had to mow a strip because that land has not been maintained for the last 10 years. It's been overgrown. As I'm putting the fence up to help us measure clearly and get an actual tape measure distance on it from the estimated line or section line. That is the kind of top-down view, so you can see the distances. Next. The big issue I'm having on this one is if you were to take the properties around me, I am in the top right corner, that is my property. There is approximately 12 fences within 3 miles southwest of my property that have a more obvious or less distance than mine. I went ahead and included those on the map. If you go to the, hopefully the next photo. There is a fence right there that is on new construction on the left. That house is currently being built, just constructed his fence, and no questions have been raised so far on that construction of that fence. The picture on the right is another fence that is up. Yes.
Is that picture on the left, is that a section line?
The section line is going down the road.
Are you
Yes.
sure that's a section line?
Not 100% sure. I'm still verifying all these. I need to verify all those. I was just given this letter 2 weeks ago, and this is a quick putting it all together. But that is off of a maintained road. Next slide should be my fence now. You can see off of my road and stuff how much greater distance. There's a couple more photos that I included that showed the neighbor just to the south. There is a vehicle traversing, I guess you would say, down the road. You can see how close the fence is on the other side versus the gap on my side. Showing the distance is within, I don't want to say a dangerous or a close. There is an acceptable amount. My side, I would believe to be correct. Next photo. Here's one of the biggest issues that I want to address is that big square around me is my property. If you would like to know that the property owner on 3 of my sides is actually Commissioner Messer, which is where I have one of my big issues, because this whole thing, I believe, has been spearheaded, talking with different people that they were told to contact me via Commissioner Messer. They wouldn't put anything in writing because Commissioner Messer told them or he was instructing them on what to do. I believe this to be a big conflict of interest, especially with the oath of office, doing this for personal gain. He has tried to develop his land. He's put, I want to say, pictures out there of the land around that he's looking to develop. That's neither here nor there. I find that to be a big conflict of interest that a commissioner, a landowner, a neighbor is the one headhunting or spearheading this rise about my fence.
Okay, so I'm going to interrupt you right there
Yes,
because
sir.
100% of what you just said is totally false. So let's go back to where this was spearheaded. I received a call from a neighbor/farmer who said you were putting up a fence on a section line and he needed to move his equipment down that section line.
Okay.
And he felt, I hadn't gone out and looked at it, he felt that your fence would prohibit him from going down the section line with the 40-foot header on his combine.
Okay.
So I immediately called our road superintendent, said, go take a look at it. Let me know what you find and what your thoughts are on this. The next thing that I got was a phone call from you identifying yourself from the city of Dickinson, talking about this section line, referencing numerous North Dakota Century Code sections in your interpretation of those. And I responded by, I mean, I was kind of, when you say this is Landon Green from the city of Dickinson, I immediately think it's a city of Dickinson issue, okay? And so I asked you, I said, has this got anything to do with the city of Dickinson city limits? You said no, correctly. I asked you, is this anything to do, and is it in the ETZ that the city would be involved in this? You said no, correctly. And so we proceeded to disagree on, I basically told you, like you mentioned in your notes, that you had to be 33 feet from the center line, which you correctly referenced. I'm your neighbor on one side. I'm not in the business of developing that. That's totally false. The piece, your neighbor's directly to your south, I've never owned that piece of property. If you do your research, you would find out that I was never an owner there. So I'm your neighbor on about, I don't know, maybe up to 1,000 feet, maybe.
Okay, I'm seeing your name on the LLC under Messer Schwab. That is the land to the
Yes,
south.
so I'm a partner in that. I'm on the south side. You said I'm bordering you on 3 sides. I border you on one side.
I believe you go up the east side according to the,
No,
okay,
absolutely not.
okay.
So, and I am not in the desire and wanting of developing that. That's why the 10 acres that your neighbor to the south was excluded when I acquired that property. So you're the one who's making false statements here, and I resent that because I want to make sure we're doing what's right for the entire county, not just for me or you or anybody
And I
else.
agree with you on that.
Okay, so let's stick to the facts.
Yes, sir.
You're not a licensed survey, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we hired a licensed surveyor. You were told to get the section line surveyed.
And I did get a pin locate.
Okay, is that the same as a survey?
I was told, in my knowledge, I don't know the difference. When I asked for a pin locate, he told me a pin locate would suffice.
Who's he?
I'm not supposed to disclose names because he does want his name being tarnished, and I don't want to tarnish any other names in this area.
Okay.
So if we want to have a private conversation where this, I believe, should have started as a private conversation with the lower ends, I think this has escalated to a extreme level, which it does not need to be at. I believe this all should have stayed low and local with casual conversations, not coming to this.
But it was that the casual conversation up to the point that you refused to go out and get your own survey or comply with what the statute says you have to do in regarding section lines.
And I believe I have complied with those.
Okay.
I have told that to Mr. Josephson, and I have tried to talk with Mr. Josephson.
This is not under Mr. Josephson's purview. I understand that you worked close to him in the.
Well, I was told by the county to talk to him.
Told by
Who was told, when I called the front desk, I was asking about fencing permits. And I was told that the county does not do fencing permits. And if I had questions about fencing, Mr. Josephson would be the person to contact.
Okay, so we'll take that at face value. But Mr. Josephson is our zoning and planning director, so little different than going out and doing the roads. So once you refused or did not have it surveyed, we hired a survey. Do you agree that the survey that was done was correct or incorrect?
I do not believe it's correct because I did an open records request asking information from that survey so I could double check it with my pin locates. I never got any information in my open records request. I was told there's no documentation. The state's attorney, Amanda, told me to contact Northern Plains. I tried to contact Northern Plains to get information. I gave them my email so they could send me over the documentation they had. Still to this day, it's been over a week and nothing has been received.
But you saw the stakes that Northern Plains put into the property.
Yes, there were stakes put in my ground, correct.
Yes.
And they were promptly removed, too.
By you?
No.
By somebody else?
By somebody else. I have documentation that I went to Deputy King to show that the stakes had been removed. I did a police report showing the stakes had been removed because I thought somebody on your side possibly had messed up, done an illegal survey, and they're trying to cover their tracks.
Okay.
There is an open police report with the police department or the sheriff's department and Deputy King over somebody on the land making alterations.
Okay.
Can I
Yes, sir.
I would just like to, let's tone this down just a touch here, because you know what, I think that what's trying to be accomplished here is what's right here. And I really appreciate your efforts going out there and trying to find corners by yourself and so on and so forth. But ultimately, for your own protection, you should really go off the survey here.
Okay.
Okay, you really should. I mean, you're not a licensed surveyor. It's not certified. I would believe that stake versus your pin loc. That's why I asked the question.
Okay.
Okay, because you're out there with your handheld GPS trying to find a pin, most likely. Okay, I would say the level of accuracy is probably not that great there. So, but like I said, I just let's just tone this down a little bit because, like I said, I don't think there's any malicious activity going on here. I think people are just trying to get to the right conclusion here, the right conclusion.
I agree with you.
Okay.
So what does the county have into the survey? Do we know the cost?
I think it's around $1,400 or 15, somewhere in there. And I couldn't imagine who would go pull the stakes out would have any, like, I think when we put the stakes in the ground, we actually put paint marks, so in case the stakes were pulled out by somebody that didn't believe where they're at, so that's bizarre if somebody went out and pulled the stakes out.
Well, the nice part about having an actual surveyor done by a qualified individual, if we need to have those stakes put back in the ground, they can be put back in the ground in the right location. There's no guessing here. So, like I said, I'm looking at this. I don't know what the dispute is. There's the line right there. I see the line. Your fence outside the line.
Okay.
Right? I think it's pretty simple.
Landon, can you give a little backstory as to what was happening out there so these guys know?
Absolutely. So on my 80 acres, I have cows and I have horses, and I had poaching incidents, which I did include pictures of the poaching. I originally went to Officer Lee, telling him people were trespassing on my yard, people were shooting at my house. I have pictures of people poaching and shooting at my house. I tried contacting Game and Wildlife to give them the pictures. I told them I felt that my cattle, my horses, everything was in danger. When I talked to Sheriff Lee about it, he told me, if you put up a fence and post it saying, don't trespassing, no hunting, he'd be able to criminally trespass these people who are hunting and jeopardizing my livestock. I then had people driving across my land to get to the hunting land behind me, destroying my cropland, destroying my farm, destroying my fields and the grass that I'm now trying to grow to feed my animals. So after talking with Sheriff Lee, he's like, you probably should put up a fence, protect your livestock, protect yourself, post it so he has something to go off of when I go to him to try to get this all protected.
North Dakota, you can electronically post though too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does not have to be fenced.
Okay.
Well, without a fence, they're still driving through my yard. And this whole hunting season, I actually have pictures of people. I got one from a security camera in 4K. I'd be happy to pass around people driving, belligerent through my yard. There, they park in the back because you can't park on the plots. And by the time I call the sheriff and like, hey, I have somebody parked in my yard, they're gone in 5-10 minutes. Or they see headlights coming down one way, they just go out the other way. And so I just want to do what's best for my livestock, what's best for my land and my family.
Where's those plots at from your place?
North and east.
Okay.
And then there's the little house directly south, but then south it wraps around as well.
Well, I think the rules are the rules. are you willing to put your fence back up on the section, or on the survey section line 30, off the 33 feet as described by the survey?
If I could have just talk with the survey, like I said, that distance now becomes almost 80 or 79 feet. So is the neighbor central, and why was the neighbor's side not surveyed? Why was just mine surveyed? Which also kind of goes down to what's right is why is everybody else around me who's still doing new construction not having their fence surveyed 33 feet off the section line, but mine has to be surveyed?
So we could hook you up with the person who did the survey.
Okay.
And verify those stakes, correct?
I would feel better because, like I said, the locate I had versus the survey, they did not match up, and I was concerned.
And those other, where that other fence line in front of that house that was made out of tubing, that's not a section line, correct? Right there, go back one.
Well, that's the question I asked. We don't know if that's not a true section line, that could be a quarter line. I have no idea where that property is. I have no idea. If it's a quarter line, there is no rules, right?
Correct.
Okay. But if it's a section line, there is. And
I just know all the other main roads because originally, State's Attorney Amanda told me that there was a hazard for my fence, and that was the big issue, was the hazard, and I was trying to identify her. There's other hazards around that I think pose more of a threat than mine. But once again, with the location, if there is an issue with the location, I would like to address and get it done correctly. So I guess all I'm asking is, get that letter repealed saying I don't have to remove it and we can work and I can get it moved and adjusted once, now the ground's frozen.
Well, I think we can give extra time to come in compliance, but I think compliance is the ultimate goal because we've, as you know, through the open records request, you've seen where we've had to do this before, and it's never a pleasant conversation. But that's.
Lana, can you scroll through those pictures? I have a question about one of them here. I mean, some of the pictures actually looks like it's not a very far discrepancy, but I'm looking at one here. Is this on his land right here?
Yes.
Keep going.
I believe so. The one where your posts are in this one. Yep, on the right.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't look like a little bit. How far, what's the...
That is 19 feet from my post over to that marker.
From your far...
Mine is the wooden post going up, which you can't tell from this angle, but it's going to crawl behind the trees, which is one of the big things, is all those trees you see at the top center, there's only a 12-foot gap in between those trees. So when I heard about a farmer trying to get a 44-foot implement between those trees, they are thick, big trees. I'm not sure how a farmer's going to get a 44 implement between those big trees. But my fence is going to go behind those trees, which, like I said, the picture doesn't show from this angle, but I will be behind that.
I mean, it looks like the stakes probably run behind that tree from here.
I think the tree is in the section line.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I don't fault you for trying to fence off your land. You have issues out there. You're trying to secure your property. I'm with you 100% here. But like I said, got to be a little careful with this, doing it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that goes into a survey trying to, so.
Yes, sir.
Yes. You step up to the podium there.
Yes, so my company did the survey, and if this would solve anything, I don't think it will solve anything, but we can just replace the stakes, we'll do it at our cost. If you really want the GPS coordinate, we can give you the GPS coordinate, but your handheld GPS is not gonna be very accurate. I think that's really where the confusion comes from. We'll offer to meet, and where it goes from there is up to you guys, but we'll offer to do that just to move things along, but that's what we wanna do and kind of wash our hands of it after that point, because we believe in our survey, we believe it's right. I think it should be incumbent upon Mr. Green to challenge the survey with his own cost after this meeting. It's my idea.
Well, you strike me as a person you're looking for some precision here.
Yes, sir.
I would take their word for it. I mean, they are qualified. They do this all the time, and they've got the equipment to do it. Okay, so I think that'd be great, Jeremy, if you would do that.
And that'll take care of it, then you'll have, I realized if, with the freeze up or whatever, you get it moved, we can work with you at something, but if you get it taken care of on that, because if you leave that fence on our right of way and something happens, then we're liable for it, so.
And that's, I'm not looking to get anybody else liable. I'm just looking to protect myself, protect my land. That's all I'm here to do is clarify all that.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming in, Mr. Green, and
Thank you very
explaining
much, Mr.
yourself.
Thanks.
Okay, Mr. Fraley, now we can call you up. I just saw 4-H there and I thought it was something related there.
Kind of threw me for a loop there. Kurt Freilich, NDSU Extension Service, Stark Billings County. I think the first thing on the agenda is the memorandum of understanding. That's not it. That's the Dakota room. So the memorandum of understanding is between NDSU, Stark County, Billings County, and Golden Valley County. So 40 years ago, folks, I started my career, and it was always Stark Billings County. And I just, it's the way it was. And once I got here, we started to do some research when things happened, Well, we came across a memorandum of understanding between the three counties, and it was pretty outdated, and it was, we have a copy of 1987. So we took that 1987 copy. There was some things in there that was language not correct. My coworker is sitting in the audience behind me. She is a family community wellness agent. In the old memorandum, I think it referenced home economics. We don't go by those names anymore. So we tried to clean this stuff up. I sent this to our state's attorney, Miss Amanda Engelstead, for her review. She responded back to me. I sent it over to Ashley Eckert in Golden Valley County so that she could have their people review it in Golden Valley County. I sent it on to NDSU for their review. And the current, the one that's on the screen with Lynette Flage's signature, that is from NDSU, that is our assistant director. So what I'm asking is that we just update this memorandum of understanding on how basically Stark County and then Golden Valley County services Billings County with NDSU extension.
Okay. Any questions or?
I had a question about funds on Golden Valley.
Question?
With Golden Valley, do we receive revenue from Golden Valley
No,
for their
no.
share?
Billings County reimburses, and they currently don't due to the reserve fund in Stark County. But, up to, Karen, you're going to have to help me,
It's like a certain
17,
time.
18, 19.
Yeah.
Billings County was reimbursing Stark County 22%. They were reimbursing Golden Valley County for their services, but Golden Valley does nothing with Stark County. So it's Billings County where expenditures are coming out back to the other two counties.
Okay, so Golden Valley is kind of separate, is what you mean, and Billings County is, okay.
Yep.
Any other questions? If not, I look for a motion for the chair to sign the memorandum of memorandum of agreement with Billings, Golden Valley, Stark, and North Dakota State University
I'd make
Extension.
that motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion? All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Okay, Dakota Room, if whoever, under the current use agreement, when people utilize the Dakota Room, our staff in our offices, they handle this stuff with people. There has been just some challenges, people not reading the agreement correctly. So they kind of reformatted the agreement. The other thing that has been changed on the proposed agreement, we did specify in there now that check or credit card. Some of the outfits want to pay by credit card, so we've worked with the auditor's office and they've been able to do that, or electronic funds transfer, they've been able to do that. One of the real challenges with some of the outfits is currently we have a $50 per day charge and a $100 deposits for the use of that room. When they use the credit card or the electronic funds deposit or transfer, it gets to be a little bit of a challenge to get those deposits back to the renter. And so we are proposing that we remove the deposit, increase the fee from 50 to 75, and then we just put on there, and it says under number 1 in there, any damage or loss to the facility resulting from negligent beyond normal wear and tear will be at the expense of the renter. So we are kind of covered. Been in that building for 4 years. We've never held any deposits, never been any issues. The people that come in there, we've kept it out from the standpoint of, there's no social activities, there's no birthday parties, there's no graduation parties, things like that that can get a little carried away, and we can have extra cleaning things to do. So looking for your input. If you're okay with changing the agreement, we would put it into play January 1st.
So I had a question about, you have invoice will be mailed to user once this agreement is processed. Why are we now doing invoices?
Some of the renters will not pay until they get an invoice.
But if they pay, wouldn't you just be able to give them a receipt?
We had an issue here. I can't remember who it was. There was somebody at the state level, state government level.
Secretary of State's office, maybe?
Yeah, I don't remember, Karen, but they would not issue the rent per day charge until they received an invoice.
Who's generating the invoice?
Joe is just, it's just a generic invoice just to set it up, get them to get it taken care of.
So that is something I spoke to Joe yesterday. I want to kind of work with them because we don't really want invoices going out from multiple departments.
Invoice, or maybe the better word would be a statement.
Right, but we have that's using a separate accounting system to account for this, and we're kind of trying to cut down on the multiple sets of books that we've had in the past. And so I do want to work with Joe on that portion.
And I get it. There's a lot of stuff that I need that when I purchase things, I cannot just do with the receipt. An invoice will give a better description, a unit number for me for my taxes at the end of the year too.
Yeah, and they need it, to complete that process. They need it, for us to complete it and get it, in the books. We need to get it done as quickly as we can. And we just it's a way for us. We use a Quicken accounting. We just Quicken, not QuickBooks, we just Quicken. And Joe knows how to generate some statements out of it, some bills out of it. So send it off to them, and they're happy. We get it taken care of.
Okay, I'm just going to try to work with Joe some on getting that. They don't like the separate book system.
Any other issues that you wanted to?
No, it's just are you okay with the removing the deposit, okay with going from 50 to 75 for the rent?
Yeah, I think we have, like you said, 4 years of experience now, and we can fine tune this, and it sounds like that's what's being done, so I'm fine with it.
Did you do a motion on that, or?
Yeah, we probably should, I suppose.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the new facility use agreement for the
Dakota room?
for the Stark County, for the pub, whatever we call it.
The Dakota room.
Dakota room, there we go, perfect.
Okay, I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Have a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carried.
The last item that I would like to visit with you folks about is our office hours at the office. We are currently 8 to 12, 1 to 5, Monday through Friday. Okay, that's when we're open. Our neighbors right in the building, they are open to the public 8 to 5, Monday through Thursday, with a 12 or only a half-hour lunch, and then they close at noon on Fridays. Courthouse over here is, your public is shut down at noon on Fridays. We'd like to become more in compliant with everybody, all of the county offices. It only affects one person. Dixie is part-time, so she's a 20-hour work week, so she'll come in, keep her normal hours. Joe, she is willing to, and she brought this to my attention, she's willing to shorten up her lunch hour and then come in earlier so that she gets her 40 hours in on a per week basis. But it would be, then we would go from 8 till noon, 12:30 to 5, and then on Monday through Thursday, and then on Fridays go 8 to 5. Or 8 till noon, I'm sorry, 8 till noon.
Okay.
The only thing it would take is we're gonna have to probably take something and change some stuff on the door. Most people think that we are closed on Friday afternoons because there's nothing around those buildings but maybe 1 or 2 cars.
Okay.
So I was just hoping that you would give us the approval to do that.
Okay.
Okay, I'd make that motion.
The motion. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? I'm looking for a second on the motion. I'll second. Any other discussion? Not that, I guess we'll do a roll call here. Commissioner Claris?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Commissioner White?
That shortens it up by 2.5 hours a week, right?
Joe is going to come in from the standpoint of her time clock. She's going to be in, putting in her 40 hours.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer?
No.
Commissioner Marsh?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll take a break, about a 10-minute break or so. Okay, next on the agenda is planning and zoning, Mr. Josephson.
Good morning, Commissioner Steve Josephson, County Planner. The first item up is MSP 0624, and this is a request to replat lots 3, 4, and 5 of Block 2 of the Buffalo Heights subdivision. And the idea is that once this replat is approved, the middle lot, each of those property owners would reconfigure their lots so that they would each have half of that middle lot in there. So it would go from 3 lots to 2 lots. Both the Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommend approval, and I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions? There's no questions. I look for a motion to approve the MSB 0624.
I make the motion.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Okay. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carried.
Thank you. The second one is RZ 0624, that's Drayton Feynman, requesting a rezoning from agriculture to rural residential on a property legally described as a tract located in the southwest quarter of the southwest quarter of Section 11, Township 140, Range 95. Both Planning and Zoning Commission, and this would be from agriculture to rural residential. Both the Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommend approval, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions? Now to look for a motion to approve RZ 0624.
I'll make the motion.
Motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
The next one is a request for a temporary use permit, 0124, and it's temporary use permit for above freshwater storage tanks on a property with an address of 3075 112th Avenue Southwest in the county. There's currently a water depot that was approved there. This is a slightly different use, and it's because they're only doing it for a limited period of time. That's why they're in for a temporary use permit. Both the Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommend approval subject to the conditions presented at last week's Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, and I'm here to answer questions.
These in-ground water storage?
No, these are above ground water storage.
So what's
And
the
they're
current use?
It's a water depot.
Saltwater disposal? Or
No, it's fresh water
Oh,
to be used
okay.
for fracking and stuff. And one of the things that both the owner and the applicant said is under the current operation, there are trucks coming and going. There are no trucks that would be involved with this. It would just be, the water would be pumped up to a frack site up in Dunn County.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the property owner who has the conditional use permit right now will probably be coming back to the county to change his conditional use permit so that there would no longer be any trucks coming and going. It would just be this use.
So are they putting any underground tubing or piping to that storage?
It's lay flat.
It's all lay flat?
It's laid flat, yeah.
And these are tanks above ground, or is it
They're like
earth,
portable tanks. They're,
like the Poseidon tanks?
Poseidon tanks, yeah.
Correct.
About 600,000 barrels of storage.
Yeah, and it's five of them.
Where do they get their water from?
And then lay flat from there to frac locations?
Right.
Oh, that gets it there, okay.
Any other questions? Now to look for a motion for TUP 0124.
I'll make the motion.
Motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carried.
The next one is RZ 0724. That's Justin and Megan Schlecht are requesting a rezoning from agriculture to agricultural residential. It's located in the north half of the northwest quarter of Section 15, Township 138, North Range 96. The property is approximately 31.32 acres. Both the Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommend approval, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Any questions on this? If not, I'll look for a motion to approve RZ 0724.
I would make that motion.
A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried.
And the last one is RZ 0824. Justin and Megan Schlecht are requesting a rezoning from agriculture to rural residential on a property located in, this is a 8.68 acre property located in the north one half of the northwest quarter of Section 15, Township 138, Range 96. They're requesting rezoning from agriculture to rural residential. This is an adjacent property. Both the Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommend approval, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions? Not, I'll look for a motion on RZ 0824.
Make the motion to approve.
Okay, a motion to approve, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carried.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll go ahead and notify all the applicants this morning. And it looks like there will be a Planning and Zoning Commission meeting the Thursday before the January County Commission meeting. We've received one application so far, and I anticipate another one coming in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, do emergency management, Ms. Decker.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Lana Decker, Stark County Emergency Manager. Give me 1 second. All right, so month of November, current community lifelines are stable. For the fires throughout the county, we had 42 calls total. We had an increase in the controlled burns with improving conditions. We only had one brush fire for the month, so that was pretty good. We did have 3 structure fires, 2 within the same day. The one was at 6 a.m. That was the one where the structure was a complete loss. And then another one that same day at 1:30. That one, I don't believe destroyed the structure, just a garage. So we're up to about 53 wildfires throughout the county with about estimated 785 acres burned. We actually just had a grass fire, small grass fire yesterday or Sunday. Yesterday. Okay. So grass fires are still possible right now, even with snow on the ground. So just so everyone still stays aware and cautious. With winter, I just want to remind everyone on your gas meters to clear ice buildup. And if we ever do get snow, make sure you're clearing around it because snow will pull these meters away from the building and then we'll have a gas leak and that's never good. So just stay aware of the conditions around your house and clear those off. And then just a reminder to people to never warm your car up in your garage, even with the door open. Make sure if you're having to use a generator for any reason that generator is outside your home, because these two things can cause carbon monoxide, and carbon monoxide is poisonous and deadly. So just a reminder in this winter season to be safe. And then I don't have it in here because I just had this conversation with the fire chiefs from the county last night, but they are asking that I lower the restriction on fireworks closer to New Year's to allow them in the county, not within the city of Dickinson limits as usual. But I will put out an announcement when that is done and that is allowed. So just so the community knows that we are looking at doing that. So I'll take any questions.
Any questions?
Could those weather radars ever come in?
They did. We are looking for a nice day to put those in. Saturday it's supposed to be 50, so we might do some work Saturday. So they are here. They are ready to be installed.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's no questions. We'll go on to the Dickinson UPS renewal agreement. And
Yeah, so this is for the dispatch center for their backup batteries. This is the company that services them. So we're just looking to renew that contract with them. It's, what, 5,000? I should have, I was gonna say I need glasses today, so $611. That comes out of my 911 budget. So, and I do have the funds for that, so I'm just looking for approval to get that signed.
Make the motion to have the approval signed.
I'd second that.
motion is second, then.
Just a quick question, how often do you have to replace those? Or is this a service or replacement of the battery?
Service.
Okay, got it, thank you. That's-
Okay. A motion and a second, then. It's a roll call because of money you're involved in. Commissioner White.
Aye.
Commissioner Claris.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried. Next, you have the Stark County Emergency Relief Fund.
Yeah, so I've been working on an idea to create a special fund for supporting members of the community during events that don't require an emergency declaration, where that's where I can tap into that emergency funding you guys have. It's more for something smaller while I'm waiting for additional resources to come in, like the Red Cross. The Red Cross for us comes in out of Bismarck, so I don't really have a volunteer force here to support temporary operations. So I did speak with Amanda on this. We are still kind of discussing something, so I just wanted to kind of put it in front of you guys to take a look at. Right now, I'm not looking for an approval. I'm more looking for you guys to look this over and maybe provide me some feedback on it. The thing I really want to look at today that I might look at changing, I think I'm going to take out the displacement assistance, because I already do that. I have a line item for that. So I don't think that's required anymore, but I do want you guys to look at the temporary shelter assistance. And the reason why I kind of want to do this is because last year when we were seeing those really bad cold snaps, we were trying to find a way to support a temporary shelter here in town with Southwest District Health. And it was really difficult for us to raise funding for that and get resources. So I think if I have something that I can pull from in that time of need for a temporary shelter, I think it would be really beneficial while they're maybe seeking out other resources just to kind of help them get started. Last year, at I think our max, they have a max capacity about 25 people. I think they hit a max people last year of 8 that they were assisting. And during that time frame, they assisted them with getting identification and other documents, and it helped them get jobs within the community. They gave them rides to those jobs. They helped set them up for after the shelter closed to have places to go. So I think supporting these kind of operations is really beneficial. And I just want to do what I can. I'm trying to be as thorough as I can in how I distribute the funds to the temporary shelter, that it has to be in coordination with emergency services. It has to coincide with an event going on. It has to have a time frame. So I'm not looking to support like a permanent shelter and stuff like that. The funds have to be tracked. I have to have receipts afterwards. Purchases can only be made by the staff, things like that. I'm trying to be as thorough. So I ask that you guys just kind of look this over, and maybe at the next commission meeting, give me some feedback if this is something that that you guys are looking to maybe help me support. There is a section at the beginning of how I would go about getting funding. I'm definitely looking for feedback on that, because I would be looking at going to not just you guys in the city of Dickinson, but the smaller cities. But now that I'm thinking about taking out the displacement assistant, I may not need to generate as much funding as I thought, so. But I look at it as a community effort, so.
So, first question.
Yeah.
So is there a difference between the emergency temporary displacement and the temporary emergency shelter? Because
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
well, I'm just looking at it, I think we have, I thought Community Action was involved in those kind of activities. If Southwest District Health is involved in those kind of activities.
The like temporary sheltering?
Well, I mean, just based on what you talk about temporary emergency shelter, and then you talk about displacement in here.
Yeah, so the displacement was like for probably the only thing I would ever be asked to do is during like the structure fire. So the structure fire that occurred this Saturday, I assisted that family with temporary accommodations until the Red Cross can come in and help them. So since I'm already doing that, that's why I'm thinking of just removing that, because I'm already kind of doing that. I already have a line item in my budget for it. I'll just keep an eye on it. If we come into 2026 budgeting and I'm really seeing a need for more, I'll just come to you guys with a request.
What's
for a
the
change.
average lag time from with Red Cross from Bismarck to somebody in this area?
Between 24 to 48 hours, especially around this time of the year. They can take a little longer, and they may only offer assistance over the phone.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. I'm hoping to start building up a volunteer force within the county. Myself and my assistant, we're actually going to Bismarck tomorrow to get certified as trainers for what's called CERT, so Community Emergency Response Team. And then we're going to try training people within the community who are interested in being, I'm going to say emergency responders, but I'm teaching them small skills to assist with small operations in like big disasters. Because if we have a tornado come through the county, emergency services is going to be focusing on the big things. So if I have a small volunteer force with some skills, they can handle the smaller emergencies. And that frees up emergency services from being pulled every which direction. And then I'm hoping to get what's called Teen Cert into the schools around the county to get the classes or the teenagers within the county certified as CERT members, and if anything, teach them a couple life skills and go forward and at least know how to put out a fire with a fire extinguisher. So, but it's like first aid skills. It's knowing how to identify a structure that's unsafe. It's putting out a small fire. It's assisting with shelter operations. I can actually teach people to staff my emergency operations shelter with specialized skills. So it's kind of a selfish thing for me to teach these people because I can use them a lot. But I'm hoping within the next couple of years, I'll have a volunteer force to close that gap for us where the Red Cross is, I don't want to say behind, but we just don't have them here. And that's no fault of their own. I'm trying to build up a force here. It can be a struggle.
So if you take the emergency displacement part out, okay, and then we have the initial operation, like the temporary emergency shelter, I know Southwest District Health and I think Neil mentioned Community Action, they already receive funds from the county. Is this not something that they are already receiving funds for?
No, I think the funds that they receive are already allocated for certain things. That's what it seemed like last year, is they did not have the funding to support the shelter. They were looking for outside resources to help support it. From what we've had one conversation already, and this is what kind of got me started to thinking about how to help assist with funding. We've already had shelter conversations this year to try to be prepared. And everyone's resources right now are so spread thin. There's such a need in the community for everything. When they did the Coats for Kids, they said that the amount of families coming through was so concerning. So we're very worried about this year, if we have to open up a temporary shelter, that we are going to start hitting max capacity in what we're going to do. I am looking at trigger points for when these emergency shelters would activate. The National Weather Service, so they recommend 35 degrees below zero ambient temperature 35 degrees below zero with a sustained period of 48 hours. Around here, we may hit that a lot. So I am looking at recommending even just daytime shelters, warming shelters, and then whoever comes in, maybe we look at assisting them with finding other resources to get through the night or things like that. Last year's was such a significant event. We were looking at between -50 to -70 for an extended time frame. We did have people coming in there with frostbite injuries that we ended up taking to the hospital. So, I mean, these warming shelters are in need in our community. So I'm just, like I said, looking for a way to support it however I can. So I'm not looking for anything today. I just wanted to get this out in front of you guys to look at it, and hopefully next month for the first meeting, I've gotten enough feedback that I have a final document that I can say, this is the plan, this is my hopes, and I'm looking for approval, so.
Okay.
Any
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks. Okay, next we got the 2025 County Commission meeting dates. And I guess, anybody have any conflict on that? Otherwise, I need a motion to approve.
I will say that, so I know that we had a second one in August that we didn't use this year. I actually moved that and put a second one in July to hopefully give us a little bit more time. That July 15th is mainly budget related. And then the other one that's mainly budget related would be your September 16th one. So we kind of have some gap in there. And then October 16th is the one for delinquent properties, when we have to ask questions on minimum prices. And then December 29th is the one that we do end of the year to pay the bills at the end of the year to do the reconciling. And then you will see January 14th is the budget adjustment meeting. So any variances in budgets that need to be adjusted.
Is there any reason that we need two meetings? Can we have one meeting in October? The 16th?
October 7th is too soon?
No, I was just, no. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so October 7th is too soon. Because that's when you approve those pricings. And so October 16th, we have a deadline to meet in there that we have to have that meeting for the minimum sales price. Now, we could do a different date around that week if you have something.
I don't.
And the two meetings in January are for? you have
So
the
your
regular-
January 7th is your regular commission meeting. Your January 14th is going to be your budget amendments meeting. So from the 2024 budget, after we get everything reconciled, what needs to be amended, cost difference wise.
You just need a little extra time.
Yes, so we used to try to plug it in at that very last day in December, but there wasn't enough time to actually reconcile all the accounts. So what you were approving wasn't quite right then when we went to reconcile the accounts.
Any other discussion? Now look for motion to approve the commission meeting dates as proposed.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the 2025 meeting dates as presented.
I'd second it.
A motion, a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have two liquor licenses that have come in for renewal.
So I give you copies of these. These are the only two that I've received, Fluffy Fields and Green 19. I sent out notices yesterday that I have not received their renewals for their beer and liquor licenses. But these two are good to go. So we did receive payment as well.
How many are there? total?
There's gonna be, we're waiting on 6 more.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I'll look for a motion to approve the Fluffy Fields Vintage and Winery LLC liquor license.
I'll make the motion to approve Fluffy Fields.
A motion to have a second.
Second.
Have a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Next one is for Green 19 Grill and Lounge. Look for a motion to approve that liquor license.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the liquor license for Green 19 Grill and Lounge.
Okay, a motion to have a second.
Second.
Have a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carried.
Question, so the 6 that have not reapplied, do they expired?
Yes, so these are actually for 2025.
Yeah.
And so they need to get them in because the next meeting is December 30th. And if they want to be open on New Year's, they need to renew their
Okay.
beer and liquor licenses.
Gotcha.
But
had
we do
some
have a couple.
Staggering in last year too.
This is an every year thing. So
Staggering's good.
until they want to be open for New Year's. So
Okay, next we have there's a board openings on,
Oh, yes. Mr. Chairman, effective January 1, we'll have 2 expirations for board members on the Rough Rider North Human Services Zone. And Mr. Coppinger, who represents the schools, and Holly Prouse, who represents the agents. She's an agency rep. She works for Sunrise Youth Bureau. Anyway, their terms are expiring. They have indicated that they would like to stay on the board, but we're going to stick with the process here and put this application out to the public. If there's other folks that might be interested in these positions, they're sure welcome to apply. And we've worked, Diane's working with Joetta right now, getting the application on the website, right? Okay.
okay. Also, I just wanted to add for your information that on November 19th, we had a sale of a delinquent property, and we did sell 2 properties. One was in Gladstone, the original plat of Gladstone Lot 15, Block 22 sold. And then also the one in Leffer, lots 5, 6, 7, and 8 in Block A sold on those 2. So we did get 2 properties sold.
we even had some competition.
Yep, had a bidder war. Okay, anything else? If not, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Have a second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carried. Thank you.